Hi. So today I'm at this site, El Ceibal, and where I'm sitting is actually on an astronomical site. This is an observatory, an observation platform. That was the observatory for this particular site, and we've just been looking around it. There's some amazing stellars here. You can hear the howler monkeys off in the trees over there maybe as well. And it's a little bit off the beaten track. There's not a lot of tourists here, and it's certainly really interesting. And one of the reasons why I chose this place in particular to make this video for the Trecena of Kan is because of the wisdom that comes from the stars, the wisdom that comes from the study of the stars, the wisdom that comes from astronomy. And with wisdom comes an amount of power. And these two things are some essential qualities of the Nahual Kan and what we can expect during the Trecena of Kan. So Kan is all about this. It's about the body lightning. It's about the energy that runs through us. We might call it ki or chi. They also relate it to the Kundalini. There's certainly a sexual energy element to the Nahual Kan, the regenerative energy, the creative force, the creative life force energy within each of us. And with this energy we have different ways that we can use it, because this energy is something which is very strong. This energy is something which we can use to heal. We can use it to bring wisdom. We can use it to elevate. But it can also be used in other ways. We can use our power. Sometimes we abuse our power. Sometimes we can use it to cause illusions, to manipulate, to seduce. And really the big difference between those two things is really training. It's learning. It's understanding. And when we understand the correct use of our power, that we can use it to empower those around us by sharing our wisdom, that's when the best and highest aspects of Kan come out. Because Kan is really seen as a teacher. On the Kan days, these are days when we commemorate, when we celebrate the teachers in our lives. And so we can see the Trecena of Kan being a Trecena when we have the potential to engage with our wisdom, we have the potential to engage with our creative life force energy and use that to bring wisdom, use that to empower those around us. So the Trecena of Kan is obviously going to begin on one Kan. Potential. One is all about potential. It's like the seed. This is the seed, a new wisdom coming in, a new learning coming in, a new learning through the way that we work with our energy, a new learning through the way that we work with our power. And the potential to teach, the potential to pass this wisdom on. This is what we're talking about. We move from one Kan into two Kamei. So two Kamei, this is when we're connecting with the ancestors through Kamei. And we recognize that often when we're learning, this is going to take some of our time, this is going to take a little effort. This is when we're going to make a little sacrifice in our energy in order to connect with our ancestors, in order to connect with our ancestral wisdom. So this can also bring spiritual transformation. Kamei is about the alchemy of the soul. And the number 2 can represent sacrifice. It can also represent the lovers. It can also represent relationships. And so this 2 Kamei day may well also be something to do with the way that we might choose to use our energy on behalf of another. To give some of our energy, some of our abundance, to make a little sacrifice in order to transform. We move from 2 Kamei into 3 Kech. Now, as you've probably realized by now, the number 3 can occasionally have some external difficulties. It's like trying to express the strength of Kech into the external may not be the easiest way to use this day. Kech can represent spiritual leaders. It represents the Maya priests, it represents the initiation day of the higher level priests. And so we see this spiritual leader, we see this connection with the wilderness, going to the wilderness to get the answers for your people. But on the 3-day, this is about looking internally for it. So this might be much more about looking for the spiritual leader within you. Sometimes it's not about going to this guru or this leader or whatever to go and find your answers. They're already within you. And Trecena is a great day to go out into the forest, to go out into nature, in order to listen to that guru within you, in order to go and listen to that spiritual leader within for the answers to your questions. In this Trecena of Kan, where we're looking for that new wisdom to come in, it's about looking inside to the guru for that wisdom. It's all within you. From Trecena, we move into 4 Anil. 4 Anil. Anil is always this joyful energy. It's about ripening, it's about the coming yellowness. It's about the process that takes us forward in life, the process that matures us, the process that ripens us. And the number 4 is very much this physical plane. It's very much about this physical reality. It's about being here, present. So this is a physical ripening day. On this quest for wisdom during the Trecena of Kan, this may well be to say, look to the physical world in order to bring ripeness. Look to the physical world in order to mature in your learning, in order to mature in your wisdom. From 4 Anil, we go to 5 Toch. So Toch, the offering, the payment, the sacrifice, the fire. And interestingly enough, 5, representing the hand, is also about the work that we do. The fire is about the work that we do, the payment that we make. The 5 also about the work. So 5 Toch is a very, very potent symbol of the fire for me, the sacred fire, where we're making our payments. When we receive the wisdom from our ancestors, when we receive the wisdom from the lightning that flows through us, the lightning that flows into us. 5 Toch is where we have the ability to pay, where we have the ability to offer, where we have the ability to give back for what we receive. So from 5 Toch, we then move into 6 Zi. So Zi is all about faith and loyalty. Zi is all about unconditional love. It's also about law. And this is a very, very interesting one, because when we have 6 Zi, we have the material plane, the physical world, but we have the 6, which takes that 4 and adds in the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth. So it's drawing on the divine masculine and divine feminine in order to manifest it into this physical world. And we have this combined with Zi. Now Zi is also the Nawal of the laws, and this can be the sacred law. Now, as we move through the Trecena of Kan, as we move through this Trecena, where we are looking for the new wisdom and we're bringing the new wisdom in, this is the understanding of that wisdom through the lens of the divine laws being manifested into the physical world. So this day of 6 Zi may be where we are really looking for a higher purpose. Now it's also about faith and loyalty and guidance, and so 6 Zi may well be a day when you're looking to something outside of the physical realm to guide you. When you're looking to bring stability into your world, stability to the faith that you have in your guidance, stability to this new wisdom that comes in through your connection above and below, and being able to manifest that into this physical plane. From 6 Zi, we move into 7 Bats. So 7, the number which represents the top of the pyramid, getting to the peak, getting to the end of the journey, as it were. And Bats representing the weaving, the gestation. And when I've seen this before, one of the thing that I really see with it, we're going to go 7 Bats, 1 Bats, 8 Bats. So 8 Bats will be 40 days after 7 Bats. In the middle we have 1. So we have 7 representing death and endings. We have 1 representing new beginnings, and then we go to the 8, which is the bringing together of the old and the new, the bringing together of the initiate, the new, with the elder, the old. This is like the seam putting it together. So 7 can very much represent the end of the weaving, the end of the pattern, coming to the end of that. And when we see this in the Trecena of Kan, we can see this wisdom which is going to be passed on by the elder to the initiate. So the 7 is very much about coming to the conclusion of a certain part of the weaving, coming to a conclusion of the certain part of the art. And so with 7 bats, this is a great day for finishing off any artistic projects in order to get ahead to start the new one in 20 days' time. After 7 bats, we then move into the ceremonial day of the Trecena, the 8th day. And this is 8 Washakib. This is the day of the path. This is the day when we make a ceremony, when we make a celebration, to celebrate our path. Now the 8 is the infinite. The 8 is the wholeness. The 8 represents all the paths that we take in life. And if we just broke it down into like the 4 bodies, the spiritual path, the physical path, the mental path, and the emotional path, this is all of our paths together. And so 8 Washakib is a great day to make a ceremony, to give thanks for all of the learning, because on the days, these are days of discovery. When we take that path, when we take that journey, that's when we learn. And so this is a ceremony for all the discoveries that we've made in our lives, in our emotional lives, in our physical lives, on our physical journeys, everything that we come to, everything that forms part of our wisdom that we've learned in our journey, this is where we make the celebration. From 8 we're going to move into 9 Ach. Now, again, an interesting combination, because Ach is a very masculine nawal. Ach is the nawal of the cornstalk, it's the nawal of the spinal column. Ach means he of. And we see this as kind of like the staff of office carried particularly by the male elders. And here we have it combined with the number 9, the number of life, the number of the divine feminine. And so we have a masculine nawal with a feminine number coming in. And so this is a day which is very much about female leadership. This is a day of combining the authority to bring harmony that Ach holds with the compassionate element of the feminine coming in. 9 is the number of life. And so this is really about bringing harmony into life. And this is the highest aspect of the Kan energy. As we see it develop, what are we going to use this wisdom for? What are we going to use the power that we gain through this wisdom and the power that we gain through life? Well, we're going to use it in order to guide those around us, in order to guide our community, in order to bring harmony to our community, in order to bring new life to our community. And in order to do that with compassion. And so we see how 9 Ach can fit exactly into this Trecena of Kan, into this Trecena of wisdom and empowerment. From 9 Ach, we're going to move into 10 Ish. Ish being the ceremonial altars, Ish being the connection to Mother Earth, and the number 10 representing the hands coming together in community, in cooperation. And so here, once again, we see a really, really interesting combination of Nawalis. This is a great day to be going and making offerings at the shrines on behalf of your community. Once again, the true highest aspect of that wisdom, the true highest use of power, to use it to empower, to use it to cooperate and create community. From 10 Ish, we then move into 11 Tzikin. So, Tzikin, the visionary. Tzikin, the visionary that's going to bring that new vision into being. These are the people and the day when we're looking for that new vision. Because once again, this is what we can do with our wisdom. We can look for a new vision that we want to bring into the future. Where are we going to take it? What are we going to do with it? Well, Tzikin gives us this ability to see forwards in time. It gives us the ability to see over the obstacles. It gives us the ability to see how we can help everything to thrive. And we have it connected with the 11. Now, the 11 is a strong day, and the 11 can represent the movement in many directions. And we may actually feel that we're kind of like deluged with visions on 11 Tzikin. There's so many things to look at. It might be quite a distracted day. It might be a day on which you kind of have to allow the visions to come to you and not necessarily try to arrange them. It might not entirely make a lot of sense at the moment. That's for later on. That's to arrange them into something. There may be many flashes of different ideals, different visions for the future that come in on 11 Tzikin. So one of the challenges on 11 Tzikin will be to stay focused. So it might be not the best day if you really have to focus on something. Maybe it's better to choose another day for that and just allow the visions to come in on 11 Tzikin, because they will be wide-ranging and they might not make a lot of sense right now, but they will in the future. From 11 Tzikin, we then move into 12 Achmach. So Achmach, the forgiveness. Achmach, the sweetness. Achmach, the human. The Noel of the human being. The one that falls over from time to time. As human beings, we have the capacity to forgive. It's one of our greatest properties. And this is something that often we have to learn, and we usually learn the hard way. And the number 12 represents a summing up of life's experiences, a bundling together of life's experiences. And so what we can see, again, sometimes when we're looking at things up close, they can be too big. Sometimes when we're looking at things up close, we don't have that bigger picture. We can't see it all. It's only when we've gone through life, when we've gone through all of these experiences, that we're able to bundle them together to see that bigger picture and look at the way that each of those incidents that maybe were so difficult to forgive at some point in time, the way that those things actually shaped us to be exactly where we needed to be when we needed to be there. To see that those were experiences that at the time we probably didn't want to have, we didn't want to go through. But to recognize that those are often the experiences that brought us the most wisdom, whether it was our error or somebody else's. And so, with 12 Achmach, this is a forgiveness for the experiences of our life, a recognition that they've all formed part of us, part of our experience. And it's from those experiences that our wisdom, our true wisdom, has come. And so this may be a day when it's kind of like time to look back in life. Maybe to look back at something which you are yet to forgive. Maybe to look back and see something where you could go back and say, well, you know, I recognize now how it was an important experience for me, but I also need to make this right. So 12 Achmach gives us the opportunity to do that. To look back on life's experience and ask for forgiveness if we need to. Because as we finish the Kan Trecena, we move into the day 13 Noach. So 13 Noach, the knowledge that comes from the ancestors. Surely if there was any ultimate goal that we might get to, any ultimate wisdom, it might be this. Noach is intellect, it's intelligence, it's knowledge. It's all about, for me, in particular, the left brain, the left hemisphere of the brain. So it's often material knowledge, knowledge that we can put into this world, but here we see it combined with the number 13, which represents the spirit world, it represents the ancestors. So this is ancestral knowledge that comes through. This is knowledge, understanding that comes from spirit. And so here we see it at the end of the Kan Trecena, almost as the ultimate knowledge, the ultimate wisdom that may come through from the ancestors. So this has been the journey through the Kan Trecena. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll endeavour to make another video in 13 days' time. Thank you.